Good friggin' morning from New England, folks, and welcome back to episode 35 of the So New England podcast. I am your host, Ian Brownhill, joined by my co-host, Robert Travisano. All things So New England podcast and life spent in New England. I don't know, what would we call you at this point? You do all the things. Producer for the podcast. You do all the merch. Vinny Guarneri, behind the camera.
The Kingpin.
Okay, Kingpin might be a stretch. Guys, we have a very special guest for you. RJ, just go ahead and give us an introduction.
Episode 35, and what an episode we have in store for you. Today's guest, although born in New York, and yes, I know, New York, yucky. But today, it gets a pass for at least the intro purposes, because this gentleman has definitely earned the right to represent both New York and our beloved New England, and let me tell you why. Currently residing in Mass, he spent 10 years in the NFL as a player, earning accolades like Super Bowl champ and gaining recognition to be placed on the All-New England 2000s team and All-New England Dynasty team. But I bet if you were to ask him, one of his favorite accolades would be the 2015 Walter Camp Man of the Year Award, because although he was a mauler on the field, he used that same strength to punch cancer right in the throat. After beating cancer, he decided that his journey with it wasn't done. A few months after his recovery, he and his wife decided to start their foundation and help others during their battle with cancer, providing financial assistance to New England cancer patients and their families, helping them focus on recovery, not bills. It is with my absolute great pleasure I introduce our guest, four-time Super Bowl champion, cancer survivor, New Englander for life, and founder of the Joe Andruzzi Foundation, Mr. Joe Andruzzi.
I need to take you on the road with me. I mean, that's a good intro.
If you are looking for someone at your foundation to start doing introductions,
yes,
this is your guy right here.
We got him. You sign him up. But
I'll do whatever you want.
One remark quick, is a co-founder. So my wife was actually the starter of the foundation because she was starting it up when I was in the hospital, when I was sick, bald, throwing up, and she was there. Had a lot of time on her hands because I slept a lot, but medication does that to you.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Imagine. Joe, thank you so much. I know you've had a very busy day, so we definitely appreciate you jumping on with the So New England pod. As I mentioned to you prior to this, we've had a couple of former Patriots players on, so it is always an honor to have some of the individuals that we grew up admiring and watching coming on. And then I'm fortunate enough with my platform to have connected with you through your foundation, so the admiration has only grown since having the opportunity to work along with you and try and help the best I can to promote your foundation. So, I think first and foremost, I would love to kind of hear your journey and your story that kind of led you to the NFL. Let's learn more about the guy and not just, the 4 amazing Super Bowls. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to, talk about it too much, but.
Nah, it was easy work. Don't worry about it. No problem. Now, growing up in New York City, father was a police officer. Mom was a stay-at-home mom until we all went to school. And it was a, hard-nosed Italian family, loud, obnoxious, I'm sure, at times. 4 boys. And, I was always on the outskirts, a little different. I played soccer for 8 years. My brothers never played soccer. One tried, didn't like it. So, and then football came along in high school. I was allowed to play football until I got to high school. Mom's rules.
Wow, okay.
You don't mess with a little 5-foot Italian woman.
You don't.
She bought those wooden spoons by the package. Bundles. But
mine's 5 foot and Irish, so
Yep.
and French, so similar, but a little different. Yeah, similar. It's right there.
They don't got that feistiness.
No wooden palate. It was just the eyes.
Oh,
she
the
just
eyes?
gave me the look, and I had 2 older brothers, so it was like 3 boys.
Yeah. Well, it's always bad when you get that. Wait until your father gets home.
Yeah.
So if you hear that, then you're scared shitless. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. And then when I became a father, and like, oh my gosh, now I know what he means.
Yeah.
Now I know what she means.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder why. But overall, growing up with my brothers, we had some fun. Playing tackle football in the street. And it was just crazy. I remember in the snow setting car alarms off. Getting tackled into a car. But once I got the chance and opportunity to put the pads on. I fell in love with it. By my junior year, I was just football. But, unfortunately, I wasn't getting scouted by any big colleges or anything. So I was a late bloomer. So I was August birthday. So I was turning the age for the school year that year. And I think I grew more my sophomore to junior year. Probably grew about 6 inches, and then I started growing width-wise. But that's when I found the weights and everything, and got a chance, opportunity to go to Southern Connecticut. So another part of New England here. It was a great time. I loved every minute. I showed up the first day of training camp and threw me to football. Told me to go snap that to the quarterback, and then never played center before in my life. Ended up starting the whole year at center. Moved me to tackle for the next 2 years. I became All-American as a junior. Then they moved me to guard my senior year. I was All-American again. But for me, I wasn't getting recruited anywhere. As a junior, these scouting agencies come around and work you out, and pulled my hamstring first rattle out of the gate. So I wasn't on anybody's radar. Found an agent. Oh, he found me, actually. And I was just trying to finish my education. I studied. I went to school for school.
Yeah.
Football was the added bonus for me, and it was fun while I was there. So for me, met a lot of great friends. Still talk to a lot of them today, and great guys. Give you a shirt right off the back. But overall, it's one of those things where I look at nowadays. These kids are changing schools every year.
Right.
I mean, like, don't you have like a commitment? Don't you have camaraderie?
Right.
how do you earn
gonna
that?
pay you?
Oh, forget about that.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know how that ever went across. I mean, how can you give these kids 18 to 24-year-old kids millions of dollars and not expect them to, do something stupid?
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they don't. Hopefully they have a good family and friend connections. But they don't. But
right.
That's just scary. I don't know. I don't understand.
I was making like $15 an hour, and I was trouble. So I can't imagine what I would do with
15.
millions.
Oh my gosh. I was working as a bouncer. I'm like, oh man, cash. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, word got out to my agent, came over, worked me out, and he just said, I'll take you on. I'll give you a chance. And he told me, cut my hair, add earrings, take earrings out, because you want that first impression. Most of the scouts are, a little older. You don't want to give them a bad, punk, impression. So you turn around, and I was able to work out at Yale because my agent graduated in there. And we worked out at Yale, and Ron Wolf, the GM of the Green Bay Packers at the time, saw that and took an interest in me. So sent the scout out, worked me out, took me to lunch, and tell people nowadays, anybody who has kids, I don't know if you guys have kids, but, diversify your kids. Don't lock them into one sport. How many kids I see nowadays that are, baseball kids?
Yeah.
The Tommy John surgery, when I was growing up, it was in the majors. Now they're in like high school age. I mean,
right.
That's just not right and too much. But overall, it's diversify your kids. I mean, the guy who scouted me, he asked me, what'd you do growing up? I said, believe it or not, I wasn't allowed to play football until high school. So 8 years of soccer. He goes, well, I was 6'3", 313. He goes, well, for a big guy, I could definitely see your footwork from your soccer skills. I ran a 4.9 40. I was, my shuttle was, I think, a 44.8. So I had some quickness, and that's where he slated me as a pulling guard.
That's where that big mauler comes in. Quick feet.
Oh, I love pulling around the outside and taking whoever out, just clearing the whole pile like a freaking bulldozer. But nowadays I look at it and I just cringe. I'm like, oh, ow, ooh, ah. I feel it.
You see the hit, and you're like, oh, I know what that feels like.
Oh, yeah. Man, that looks like it hurts.
Yeah.
But overall, went to Green Bay. They just actually beat the Patriots in '96 Super Bowl.
Oof.
So here I am, a rookie, a nobody. He signed me as a rookie free agent, big fat zero bonus. They even took the big pen that I signed my contract with. They took that back. And from there was, my agent told me, he goes, you need one chance. You need, somebody to take a chance on you. And Green Bay did. And I'm thankful for that every day of my life, because they gave me that chance and opportunity where, we made the opening day roster on the Super Bowl champion team. And me and one other rookie on the O-line was the first round pick. And of course he made the team, but I made the team. I was thinking like practice squad or something, but I guess I showed enough on the film that my agent was getting phone calls waiting for me to get cut, so somebody else was going to pick me up, and they saw an opportunity to keep me on the roster. So nobody could grab me, and stuck around there for the whole year and went to the Super Bowl again. So we lost that one. That's when John Elway finally decided to win.
Yep.
He did that helicopter spin in the end zone. But yeah, God bless him. He had a great career. And then they shipped me off to Scotland, if you remember. NFL Europe.
Yep.
So I went out to Scotland, and unfortunately it was Scotland, even though it was a great experience, history, everything. It was amazing, but also gave me that chance and opportunity to play some bigger guys. I was D2, Division 2, so it was like biggest guy I played against was maybe 250, 260, and it was a little different, especially speed. Now you're playing like the all-stars of all-stars in the NFL.
Right.
So to go around there, so now here's an opportunity. Go out in Scotland, played 10 games there, and met some good friends out there. We had some fun. I was played those games and came back. The only problem with that, now I remember, it probably took like 10 years off my life. I went in as an unknown, came out as one of the top offensive linemen, and came back to Green Bay 3 weeks later. So here I am. I'm in football shape. So there's in shape, and then there's, football shape.
Right.
That's what training camp's for. And, playing music over here. But yeah, so you talking with your hands. See, I knocked a freaking spring over here. But overall, for me, I had the callus. I mean, you form that callus, you're used to getting hit, you're ready. So everybody else had to catch up to me. But then I hit a wall because, just like 2 years straight football.
Right.
I was playing a little bit more. I was out there on kickoff return. I was the wedge, and they don't even have that anymore.
Nope, they got rid of that.
I got hit so hard I walked off to the other team's sideline. My other teammate had to come get me.
Oh, Jesus.
Literally, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yep. Think about that, and I don't remember a lot of it, so I know the story of it. But overall, two great things Green Bay did for me was sign me as a rookie free agent and then cut me in 2000. So it became a numbers game. They had too many linemen. They had to keep an extra tackle. I was that swing guard that, they wanted more of a guard tackle. So I was released. Then picked up a week later by some guy named Bill Belichick. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah.
Vaguely. Right? Rings a bell?
Why does that sound so
sounds like a popular
familiar
name in this area.
Then Google him.
Oh,
and
he's
see.
that that famous Instagram girl's boyfriend, right? Good for you, Bill. If there's ever a bizarre reason where you're listening to this, Bill, we're proud of you. Yeah. You're doing New England proud.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm sure if his name is mentioned, he might be watching. So we'll see.
We know how he is with the Pixtagram, as he calls it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he used to rip apart all those freaking.
I can only imagine.
Hated him. He hated him, and most people still do.
Yeah.
But overall, Bill gave me a call and brought me here to New England, and signed me to a contract. And 5 days later, I was the starting left guard next to Bruce Armstrong, and total different offense. And you could just imagine, like I remember Dante Scarnecchia picking me up at the hotel at like 5 a.m. in the morning, just to go in early so I could watch some film and learn the offense, because Green Bay was a total different West Coast style.
Okay.
As opposed to coming here, so you had to kind of like revert it in your brain and learn. I had to learn overnight, and to this day, Bruce Armstrong is a blessing for me. He helped me learn the offense. He helped me make the calls that needed to be called. So, he was a big help, and that's why he was a great player of his time, and hopefully soon to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. But to go in that game and learn, your heart just like pumping. And I've played games before. It's just like, all right, this is a different feeling. You don't get too many chances. The NFL stands for
not for long.
Oh, see, Audrey knows. Yeah, not for
football
long.
Guy,
not
basketball guy, football guy.
Oh, okay.
You're speaking. My heart is like so full right now. I love this. What would you say was the hardest thing to learn growing up?
Probably learning how to use, save, or spend money.
You legit worked in banking, did you not?
You're welcome.
Are you still with Dime Bank, or are you too Hollywood now?
Okay, rude, but yes, I am.
Imagine your followers finding out you're with a Connecticut-based bank.
Okay, first of all, they have a branch in Wesley, Rhode Island, which is where we grew up. So really, that's brownie points because I'm sticking to my roots. Second, I think everyone would appreciate that I'm with a bank that knows and understands their community. Their tagline is legit. Community banking lives here.
Hey, I'm not asking you to sell me on it. I've been banking with them for years, and they know me on a first-name basis. I'm just saying I'm surprised is all. I can see the headlines now. Mr. Anti-Connecticut actually banks with local community bank?
Okay, you know what? Follow along with me here. They're FDIC insured, equal housing lenders, wicked friendly. They take care of all my personal needs, have expansive products to help all my businesses, offer lending across the board, merchant services. What more could I possibly want or need? And you know that I secretly like Connecticut, so...
Oh, I hope you heard that, folks. Dime Bank is the reason Ian loves Connecticut.
Okay, you're ridiculous. Funny story, though. You know how they have like the mobile app with like banking, Lifesaver, you can do all the deposits. Have you tried to teach your mom how to do the mobile deposit
No.
yet? I was teaching my mom how to do it, and she takes a selfie instead of the check. Visit dimebank.com to learn more.
Coming here was a blessing. 3-4 hours from home, so family was close. Came over here. I was just married, and had kids before marriage, so we were able to come out here and find a place to live, and we became adopted New Englanders. So we love it out here, and unfortunately, not for long. You don't get many chances in the NFL. My contract was up in 2005. Think about that for a second.
Yeah,
so 2004 was the Super Bowl. Yeah, we won the Super Bowl. And then I became a free agent, and unfortunately, they let me go to free agency, and I went out to go see my old coach, Romeo Crennel, in Cleveland.
Yep.
And he decided to sign me to a contract. Loved Romeo, and I called Bill back up, and they couldn't match it, and were able to move out there to Cleveland. And I don't know if does this reach Cleveland area. It's
That's okay. They know.
You never know.
They know.
You never know.
I know this is a New England podcast, but
New England / Cleveland.
Yeah, no,
The So Cleveland episode.
Yeah,
no, but
let them know.
But we went out there, and it's like unfortunately it was Cleveland, and that's the bottom line. But I loved it. Loved the area. I still have some friends that I still talk to there. Not so much players, but a coach or neighbors and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun. And then, 2 years there, I signed a 4-year contract. I only played 2. I was released. And that's when my life was turned upside down 2 weeks later after being released. And, that's where I had a stomachache one day and went to the doctor. I was basically constipated and took a scan and told me I had a large mass in or around my colon. So that's when my world was turned upside down.
Yeah, wow. I mean, what a duality to go from winning a Super Bowl and then in 2 years you find out that you've got cancer. I mean, that's quite the shift of emotions, especially, having a successful career one way, thinking you're going to stay there. I can't imagine what that's like. I feel like New Englanders, we are like so passionate about our sports. And I feel like one of my most grateful things about what I've been able to do with this social media is starting to get involved with teams and have like the ability to start meeting former players, because it's just opened up my eyes and horizon. Because I've joked about this a few times now, but I did some stuff on the field at Gillette right when they were in the middle of doing construction, and RJ and I were playing pass on the field. And we were like doing a video, and I was like, I'm going to run like a, 10-yard out route. And he like throws it. And it was
a perfect throw.
It was a perfect throw, but it was like it was like end of November, and it, like with the windshield, it felt like it was probably like 40 out, and that ball hit my hands, and I was like, "Ow!"
Yeah, I'm
like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna yell at Julian Edelman like you got to catch that, because there's not 3 middle linebackers that are both 250 pounds waiting to take my head off, and it's not a dart from Tom that's like 80 miles an hour. Like we were just playing gentle, and I was like, that was the first one. I was like, maybe I need to like chill about how serious I am being a fan here. And then you meet so many people, and you start to humanize players is the only way I can really think about it. And you think about the things that they go through, like having a family, having to move. I can't imagine what it would be like. Like we complain like when we work for 5 or 6 years at a company and they do layoffs and you got to go. It's like, imagine though, like you're like the star player and it's like over a few dollars. And it's like, well, I need to get what I'm worth. And they're like, well, too bad, bye. And you're like, wait, how could you just let me go? Like I've done everything for this city and this town and this sport. And it's like, it's a cutthroat industry, and it's like as I'm meeting people, I feel the empathy is like pouring out. I see it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how did you manage that? Like,
it's a business.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line, and that's it as a player, it hurts a little bit. But you realize it is a business, and you gotta go with it. You gotta follow what's best, and you don't have many years to play, and your body takes a toll on you. And by that time, I was probably had like 10 surgeries, and whether it was like a scope or a cut up or something like that. I mean, other guys are worse, but you battle through it. You're younger,
right?
But, now 20 years later, I'm, you feel it every morning when I wake up. And that's a tough part where the NFL doesn't realize how should be health care for these guys. And I wish I was a player rep back in the day when I got older and stuff, to kind of go through that and see the older guys and see the older players. And I didn't like it, and there was a bunch of BS going on with Gene Upshaw when he was alive, and everything was given back and to the ownership a lot. So the one place I played first was Green Bay, and that's owned by the fans, and it was run a little different because of that reason. They have a board, they have a president, they have that kind of stuff. So it's a little different. Similar because it is a business, but
right.
It's a different atmosphere, I would have to say. So overall, it was a great experience for me. I met my wife out there, and loved the whole experience out there. And play with a guy. You talk about catching balls, Brett Favre.
I was going to say, when you were saying
videos
that,
there?
Oh my gosh!
I've seen guys fingers bent backwards trying to catch one of his balls, and he throw bullets.
Jeez.
And I'm glad I was a lineman and not a receiver. But for me, gave me that chance and opportunity, and you got to take every chance that you have, and had a chance to come here and stuck around here for 5 years and won 3 Super Bowls. Had a great experience, on and off the field.
Yeah,
but also knowing that it is life, and when you talk about talking to different guys, different stuff, everybody has their different lifestyles, different lives, and you mingle, you get together. I'm from New York City, and here comes 9/11, and my other 3 brothers are all New York City firemen. So it was a hectic day, put it that way. And sitting there, and I was in the dentist chair first. I heard the first plane hit. By the time I got home, the second one hit, and I called everybody. Got busy signals, tornado warnings, and this and that. And it wasn't until about 10, 12 hours later that my father called me, and somebody on the street, my brother, one of my older brothers, Jimmy, gave a phone number, to a guy that had a cell phone that was working. Call my parents, just tell them I'm alive. And that's what he did, and my father gave me a phone call and told me that, and I was able to take a deep breath, and also knowing that my oldest brother was called in to cover another house, and then my youngest brother just broke the academy the Friday before. He didn't put out a fire yet, and he's crossing the Verrazano Bridge down in New York and ripping his bunker gear out of plastic.
Brand
so
new.
First day on the job, and can't imagine what any of them went through. My one brother was one of the first responders in Tower 1. He was in the building, but long story short, he was running out of the building when it was falling behind him. So he's still with us, driving us crazy today. I love him to death.
Brotherly love right there.
Brotherly love, yes. He was running out, and I remember telling me that the cloud was following him behind him.
Jesus.
And
I can't imagine what
it's
wild.
Can't imagine what any one of them went through, especially him being in the building, and then my other 2 brothers, because the day of was hectic. A lot of people forget about the
Sorry.
a lot of people
I forget how good the mics are. My bad.
a lot of people forget about the days after, and the cleanup. I mean, first the rescue effort, then the cleanup effort. My oldest brother just had 2 surgeries on his throat, because of the asbestos or whatever shit that was in the air down there, and it was just crazy. And I went to practice the next day, and I can't even remember. I was just zoned out and didn't want to be there. And as soon as they canceled the weekend, I went to Coach Belichick and told him I'm going to New York to be with my family. He said that's great. Just keep in touch and let me know when you're heading back. And came back the following week, and I remember going down there and seeing my brother, and he went. No words. He just walked in the house, in my parents' house, and that's how close he was. And, just gave him a great big hug and shed some tears, and went to go pick him up the next day at the office, at the firehouse, and drove down many times in the city and looking down, standing on the FDR Drive down there, looking down at the city, and looked like a scene from a movie.
Yeah.
And the windows blown out, and make sure everybody sees it on TV and stuff, and then the smell, and it was just unbearable, and don't want to remember that.
I was gonna say, because we weren't technically old enough to really understand. I don't think we saw it.
Yeah. I was third grade.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Third
because
grade, my mom came pick me up from
obviously,
school.
The world stopped. They had on the TVs, but I was just thinking in that time frame, they had cell phones, but it's not like it is today, where you can be like, "Hey, I'm good."
Well, that was the difference years later. With the foundation now, we have a running program, and we're standing there on Boylston Street, and two idiots decide to blow up the street. And
oh God,
the second one was my watch party. It was right in front of Forum Restaurant, where the Joe Andruzzi Foundation had our watch party. We had cancer patients there. We had a 5-year-old leukemia patient blown off the couch, and my whole staff, board, friends, everybody that was part of the foundation at the time were there. And thankfully enough, there were two dumbasses that didn't know how to make a bomb seriously. I mean, what they were making should have took out half a block, and thankfully enough it didn't, but unfortunately enough it did take down a lot of people. And the scary part is a lot of it was towards the street. And, it was a tough time to get through that year and know what was going on there. But I do remember, like you said, phones went down, just like 9/11.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the difference was texting.
Yeah.
So I remember text messages going through, which was very weird. And, not realizing it, but my father actually called us to see how everything's going. But he didn't even know what happened right away, because he called us when we were right at the finish line, right after they went off. And we're just telling him, we're okay. And he's like, what are you talking about? Put on your TV. And then, that was the last phone call I was able to make until later on.
Jesus Christ.
So it was crazy.
It's like you and these trauma and these events are like line in line, huh?
So, somebody told me once, without bad luck, I have no luck at all, I guess, right? Yeah, between that and the cancer, foundation, and, stuff like that. But you know what? What I say all the time, we have a slogan with the foundation, upbeat cancer, but just upbeat and staying positive. And, I have a great wife. She has been by my side, and she's the one who kicked me in my ass and made me get on a plane to come to Boston for treatment. And, not knowing I start chemo the very next day, 7 a.m., and spent 50-plus days in the hospital, but also knowing that she saw the outcome and the people around us, and, watching people come in and out of the hospital, some coming in, some leaving, some not leaving. So it was a tough toll on the caregivers. And, she would sleep. I don't know how she did it, and she would stay with me. We had coverage on the kids, and we had 4 kids at that time. Now have 5. We'll get to that later. But she would stay there until late night, and then sometimes fall asleep and get up at 5 a.m. and drive home and make sure the kids were there when they woke up. Just make sure she was there when the kids woke up. Other times she went home late night. But we were fortunate enough. We had a lot of family and friends helping out. And that's, I tell people all the time, just stay by their side, talk to them, whatever they want to talk about, whatever patient stuff, or just watch a comedy. Staying up, being positive, and taking that negative, reversing it, and making it positive. And like to say, that's what we did. The aftermath, and at first, I didn't want nothing to do with cancer. Nobody sees. You see it on the outside. I was bald. I was probably about 60, 70 pounds lighter than I am now. And, lost a lot of weight in like a short period of time. But here I am, and it doesn't tell you what it does to your brain. And I'm in the after study now and go every year checkups and, just your organs, your brain. And I've got multiple tests done. And I remember going in for my 10-year checkup and, the doctor's looking at the list. Well, this drug is known to weaken the heart. This one weakens the kidneys. This one hurts the liver. This one hurts the brain. I mean, all these drugs I was on that would help me live, were hurting me also. But that's the answer now. And that's still the answer, which sometimes sucks. But, you're giving me poison and, trying to killing the bad cells, but you're also killing the good cells. So for me, it was a lot of it. And I remember nurses and doctors, some of the best in Boston, Providence. I mean, all the hospitals I visit now. It was unbelievable how some of the nurses walk in and with a smile on their face, just trying to cheer you up. Then years later, realizing that, laughter is that best medicine. It releases those endorphins that helps you heal.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget my daughter, who's going to be 25 this year. She was 7, 8. She thought it was absolutely hysterical that Dad was bald. I mean, I was completely bald. I didn't even have eyebrows, eyelashes, anything. And then she turned around and, she was hiding behind my wife's leg when I would come home. The doctor would let me go home for like 24, 48 hours when I had a little break, knowing that I'll be coming back up with a fever. But she would hide behind my wife's leg, and my wife would push her out. Okay, just let it out. And then we have a great big belly laugh because Dad was bald. And I remember years later, she was working in Spain. So she did a semester in Spain. She went out there, be an au pair. And I FaceTimed her. And she starts laughing again because I shaved my head for cancer. So I'm like, oh. I said, shit don't change, huh? You still think it's funny that Dad's bald. Hopefully I don't lose my hair, but we'll see. But overall, it's great to still be here, still be alive, because there's only so much time we have on this earth. And we got to use it wisely. And I reiterate those words all the time. It's, live life to the fullest. Our foundation survives on the almighty dollar because we pay it forward in any which way we can. But, time's the most valuable thing we have, whether it's my time visiting a hospital, putting smiles on patients' face, or, spending time with a child or adult or family at their home. Things like that, an autograph, just to put a smile on their face. It goes a long way. And love doing that, love being a part of it. And people tell me all the time, I've been told this many times, love what you did as a player, love even more what you do now. And to me, those words give me chills.
What are your top 3 least favorite chores?
Ooh, that's easy. Laundry, having to fold the laundry, and then trying to put that laundry away.
So the whole laundry process. Yeah, I'm truly convinced that my dryer eats my socks.
I wouldn't doubt it. But this wouldn't be happening if you would just sign up for Happiness Laundry, like I told you.
You tell me a lot of things.
That's fair, but when it comes to wicked convenient things like this that can save you time, you should listen.
I'm vaguely remembering this now.
Yeah, there we go. You take your dirty clothes, you put them in the provided bag, and then schedule a pickup through the app. Leave it outside for them to grab. You remembering all this now?
Yeah, but I don't need it every week, nor do I need another subscription.
You don't do your laundry Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter because you can customize it with any day that you need, and there's no contracts. So you don't have to worry about a subscription.
But what happens to all my clothes?
What do you mean? You think they're just stealing your undies? They bring it back washed, dried, and folded. Right back to the place where you left it to begin with. 24 hours later. Fast, professional, convenient. The only downside is I can't seem to convince them to put it away for me as well.
Yeah, but you know me, I'm picky. I like my laundry a certain way.
Again, Sassy Pants. You can go online or in the app and customize the detergents, temperatures, and how you want it folded.
This kind of sounds like you're promoting them right now.
That's because I am. All listeners can get 10% off their first bag on us. Just use promo code SONEWENGLAND. That is SONE now. So tell me about how your wife started the foundation while you started going through treatment. Like, what was, obviously you having cancer was a motivator for her, but the overall arching scope of where you guys were going to move things forward.
Let me revert back to, since we're here in Providence and New England, and during my playing days in '01, we became friends with a young boy who was battling an inoperable brain tumor, and came very close with the family. Unfortunately, he passed a little over a year later in December of '02, but he was there for the '01 Super Bowl, everything, and live life to the fullest. And then I think God works in funny ways, whether you believe in God, Buddha, or whoever's out there. I pray to God every day. I know that He put me in that position to see this young boy live the end of his life, and he didn't care that he had cancer. He was a big sailor. He went on a sailboat. He didn't have cancer out there. He was loving life on that sailboat. He had goals. He wanted to drive. He already picked out his car and all that stuff. And awesome. Loved joking with him and messing with him. And he would stop by the house. I would stop by his house. And unfortunately, he did pass. And we raised $500,000 for brain cancer research to his doctor in honor of him. For 3 years, we did that. And then a year later, I was struck with cancer. And my wife sat there and researched a lot of things, because I was pretty out of it. I got a lot of chemo, I got a lot of drugs, and I would sleep a lot. And I remember things beginning and end. Some of the middle stuff is like bits and pieces. I have to ask her questions. But she sat there and did a lot of research. She loved philanthropy work. She loved being a part of that, and being that I was battling now, it was personal. And how did these we were fortunate enough that I played 10 years in the NFL. How do these other people do it? How do the families? And if you're an adult, something you got to stop working. If it's really bad. If you're a child, one of your parents has to stop working, and it's usually the one that doesn't have insurance or whatever insurance you use. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle on everybody. I was the one stricken with cancer. I was in the hospital, but my wife, my parents, her family, all our families were all connected and all struck by it. So it's a toll on the whole family. And then realizing that medical bills can be put on payment plans. Your mortgage, your rent, your utilities, your food, your cars and stuff like that all still need to be paid. And, my doctor was a big believer in you get better at home. He told me many times, you don't get better in the hospital. You get better at home. That's why he always let me go home when my numbers were good. But knowing I'd be back 24, 48 hours. So it was like, you go home and then the chemo catches up to you and then bam, 104 temperature, back on the road. But, just being home those certain times and realizing that those little things spruce you up and helps you heal, and you get to smile, you get to laugh and have fun, and as much as you can. But I was still out of it at home. But overall, knowing the foundation, these patients, when you hear 50% of cancer patients become bankrupt after a cancer battle, that's just disgusting to me. And how do people do it? And a lot of these patients live paycheck to paycheck, and it's scary. And to be able to find that out, and there was nothing out there in 2007, 8 when my wife was researching. And then when I told her that I wanted nothing to do with this, I got a phone call. Actually, my whole family got a phone call. It's when Google was coming about, and a mom in Maine was trying to find me because she heard the story. Her son was just diagnosed with Burkitt's lymphoma, and just wanted me to give him a call. So here I am. My father gave me her name and number, called her up. I got her son's number. He was in New Hampshire. He was going to school in New Hampshire. He became a pediatric oncologist afterwards, after he beat cancer. And he's now a pediatric doctor in New Hampshire because it was kind of hard for him at the start with dealing with cancer and oncology and seeing these kids. But overall, he still helps kids, still is a doctor taking care of patients up there. And we recently went up there about a year ago, and knowing the story and seeing him still striving and knowing that I hung up that phone. I looked at my wife and I was like, we could do a lot of good with this. I could take my Super Bowl rings, which meant nothing to me during cancer, parlay that with my survivorship, which is not a ring, but it's me being here alive, and parlay that into a great foundation, because in her research, there wasn't a lot there for the home end bills and staying in your home at that time. And you don't want to come out of cancer. You just beat cancer. You don't want to be evicted from your house or things like that. That's just scary. And you think you beat cancer, but then all the other shit piles on. But overall, that's where we step in and love being a part of the great foundation that we have. My wife has been the striving force since day one. We started out of our house in 2008, May 2008. And I believe we're up to 15 people at the office now, but it does become a business, even though it's a 501c3. 501c3, but it's still a business when you think about it, because you do need those certain people. You do need those certain areas to help raise that money and help be out there and hopefully help more and more patients. We've helped over 45,000 patients and individuals and families all throughout New England.
Huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you're a New England podcast. We're a New England foundation, so it's been great.
That's amazing.
We've donated over, I think, 11 million now. But the thing that shocked me the most is during COVID, we started researching food security, the food toxicity, and that kind of stuff with cancer. And then all of a sudden, the prices were rising because of COVID, and people couldn't put food on their table. They had to choose between getting their medicine or putting food on their table. So it was like they shouldn't have to decide that. And we now we stepped in. We have a food security program, which is goes strong. And in 3 years, I think in 3 years we've donated over $1 million. And that's how fast it was. It was just, we have one person that, she takes the requests in, and we work with social workers nowadays, and they know the problems. They're reaching out to us through the back office, and they need a food gift card. Here you go. They need what's the closest grocery store? Stop and Shop, Chores, this one, Market Basket. So we got them on file. We're ready to send them out and help those in need. And we get the thank you cards. We get the thank you notes from the emails. We get, thank yous in person. We just visited Audrey's down in South Kingston.
Oh, yeah. We had Jared and Ashley on our podcast a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There you go. That's right. He told me. But, I remember him telling me last year, and he reminded me again today that he was at our, we had an event down at Audrey's about a year ago. It was trivia night for the foundation.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. That's so great.
But he posted it. His aunt calls him up the next day when his uncle was going through cancer. The foundation helped her.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Right? I mean, it gives me chills again.
That's exactly why we call this podcast the So New England Podcast, because it's like, look, it was just a small community right there, cool. And it's,
You just never know who you're helping. It could be your neighbor, your friend, family. We have another one. You guys been to the Cape at all? Lobster Trap down there?
I know of it.
Yeah. Great place, great food. Anybody going down there and born? But I'll never forget Dan coming up to me one time, and they've been golfers since we've started this golf outing years ago. And one year he's like, Joe, I got to tell you something. Pulls me off to the side. He has tears in his eyes. And he's like, hey, I just got off the phone with my mom. I just want to tell you the story that, she asked me where I'm going, and I told her I'm going to the Joe Andruzzi Foundation golf outing. And she stops talking. She starts crying. And I'm like, Mom, what's wrong? What's wrong, Mom? She tells him, she goes, I don't want to burden you and your brother, but that foundation helped me out and paid my mortgage last year when I was sick with breast cancer. And he told me that story. I was like, holy shit. Like this, the roundabout way, he doesn't even know it, but he's helping the foundation, but actually helping his mother in a long way. It's like those little stories and the thank you notes. I mean, the two best words we get at the foundation are thank you. Yeah. And, the people that, I'm the mascot. I'm, you can't miss me. I usually stick out in the crowd, and I'm a loudmouth New Yorker too. So you're gonna hear me or you're gonna see me. So either or. I don't hide very well, but I remember pumping gas in my truck, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder. Are you Joe? And I always like to mess around with people. They're like, do I owe you money? If I owe you money, I'm not Joe. But yes, I'm Joe. I just want to say thank you. You helped my family. I mean, little things like that. And just,
that's amazing. Yeah.
It's so rewarding. I tell you, you see these, these patients or friends of patients, family of patients, to get those two words, to know what we're doing, to spread the word and what we're about in this New England community, because cancer is still here and it's scary.
Yeah.
Tell you get those words, you get that phone call, you get that, get that doctor appointment and tell you have cancer. I remember getting that phone call. I was home by myself. And I literally just shut down.
Yeah.
It's, my wife was at the school volunteering, and I remember calling her up, and she couldn't even understand me because I was just so upset, like not knowing what the hell we're going to do. And we just, I was 10 years in the NFL. We didn't know if I was training to go play for my 11th. And talking to my agent, doing stuff, and all of a sudden, we sat down, and it was that, light switch on the wall. All right, cut the shit, wipe the tears off, flip that switch. All right, how are we battling this? You got to take this head on, and we went to the doctor again, and within a week, I think it was how fast it was, because the form of non-Hodgkin's I had was Burkitt's lymphoma. It doubles in size in 24 hours. So it's one of the rare and most aggressive cancers out there. So action had to be done fast. So once we were on that line of where we were and took the multiple tests, not getting back the biopsy test yet, we jumped on a plane before we even got it back and, flew here to Boston. 7 a.m. flight, May 31st. And then met my doctor at 11 a.m. And thankfully enough, my family all drove out. My parents and one of my brothers drove out to Cleveland to help the kids and finish their school year. And then they drove out east to meet us out here with the kids. But, that's where people step up. And to know that, at that time you get, told you're stage 4 cancer and, we're starting chemo tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So be here. Be ready to go, and yes, sir.
Yeah, right.
And it was a hard-fought battle where, very different battling from a hospital bed than a football field and putting a helmet on. It's fought a lot of battles, and nothing more of a battle of summer of 07 where I was battling for my life, but was able to walk out of the hospital and hold my head up high and keep moving forward. It took a little while. Took a good 6 months to a year. I don't know if you know cancer patients personally, that shit messes with you. Mm-hmm. It's like I said before, it messes with your whole body, your insides, your organs, your brain. I had a severe depression and anxiety because when I finished, it was August, and for 20 years, what did I do? I was in training camp. Yep, I was ready to start the season. And that was the whole thought process as a person, as a player, as a NFL. It was routine, and here I am, and 80 pounds lighter because I even lost more than that because at the end of chemo, I developed a C. diff, where it's a bacteria infection in your stomach, and I remember my wife shoving a piece of bread down my mouth just so I can take my medicine, and it would it really. Pretty bad, and lost some more weight because I wasn't eating, just sick to my stomach, but able to take it one day at a time. And that's, what I tell patients a lot. It's, it knocks you down, but you get back up again. And for me, it was walking. I had a long driveway, so up and down the driveway. Then to the kids' bus stop, up around the driveway to the corner. So back and forth. So each day a little bit more. Then decided to go back to the gym. I remember, prior to cancer, I was had dumbbell, like 120 dumbbells, working sets, dumbbell press, or, doing stuff like that. And here I am with 20-pound dumbbells, and it was like Rice Krispie treats. It was like snap, crackle, pop. Yeah. Going up and down, and it just a lot of aches and pains. And, chemo was the icing on the cake for, after football. But, I'm alive, 6 feet above ground, so 6 feet below, and striving to pay it forward and help more and more cancer patients and families all throughout New England. So it's an honor.
And that you are doing very successfully, seriously, I might say.
So amazing.
Well, a lot of help from my wife, who's my boss at home and my boss at the office. But a lot of help from everybody at the office and what we do together as a team. And it's definitely a team. And when we have some of our big events coming together.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about some of the events you got going on.
Yeah, like our Gala. It doesn't matter if you're if you work with the patients or you work, in development or you work in marketing. We come together. So all of us have a part in a great night. So who's in charge of patients? Who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of that? And stuff like that where we make it a great night. We have a lot of fun. And our Gala, we hold it at Gillette Stadium, and we don't have a date this year because we have to wait for the schedule to come out. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great night. We have a lot of fun there and raise a lot of money to pay it forward. You hear a lot of great stories. A lot of our supporters come out and have a lot of fun. We also have a golf outing, which I suck at, but I tell people, if you want to win, trade me now.
Yeah.
You can trade me with somebody else if you want. If you're looking to have a good time, I'm your guy. Well, I got.
How many guys come out of the NFL are great golfers, though? You know what I mean? That's tough.
No, it's usually those tall, lanky guys.
Yeah,
like
Tom
Brady,
of
course. Yeah, that son of a bitch.
Is he not?
Yeah.
Is he bad at anything?
You guys keep name dropping these guys.
I'm gonna have to splice that out, man.
Oh my man!
I couldn't resist. You teed that up for me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's shit. That was a good laugh. Fuck.
Oh wow.
I heard a good story that you waited for 3 hours to meet Tom, and then you got shoved away.
Yeah. Oh, who told you that? Was it Jared? Jared. I was so pissed because the Patriots invited me for the Hall of Fame thing, and I'm like sitting on the red carpet, and my point of contact there. She's like, "Okay, you're good here. Just hang out whenever you're ready to come in. Come on in." And then like just one person who I think was lower on the totem pole was kind of like panicking, and they're like, "Make sure everyone get everybody in. It's time to go." She's like, "You gotta go." I was like, "No, I've been here for an hour and a half. I'm not leaving until." I was like, "I don't have to shake his hand, but I need to be within a few feet of this man."
We had the perfect spot because we were right at the front, so we weren't looking.
Jared and Ashley were right next to me. Yeah, and then
it was perfect.
They has to leave too.
No, just us,
just you guys.
And I was like,
you guys must have had that look.
Yeah, they had that look like, these guys look like they can handle it. These guys look like they might freak out and try and touch them. So, which was not totally incorrect. But
one of us
still, it was still a really cool time.
Yeah, would have tackled Tom. And,
play
grab ass. Yeah, sacked them. And,
that's great.
Also, I would be remorse if I didn't tell you that this man right here, where we grew up in Westerly, Rhode Island.
Oh, here we go.
They have a long-standing football rivalry with Stonington, Connecticut.
Oh yeah,
and
get it right. Don't statistic drop and get it wrong.
Okay, it's the Turkey Day game.
Yep.
Thanksgiving every year.
I love it.
And this man has the longest run in the Turkey Day history, and it's like one of the longest high school rivalries, and I think like all of the U.S. as far as like
it's in the top 10.
It's like the top 10 for like the longest standing for how long.
I love that. We didn't have Turkey Day in Staten Island. It was. They do nowadays.
Gabagool Day.
Yeah, gabagool. That's right. It's all about. Hey, it's all about eating. Can't you tell? I mean, geez, come on. But no, they do now, and I love it because I think for most high school kids, that is their Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was. That was like the Super Bowl for us.
That's it, exactly. Yep. If you weren't making the Super Bowl, you weren't in the playoffs, then that was it. And that's
No,
what
they
it
didn't make
becomes.
it.
Right?
I was gonna say you guys didn't make either of those things.
We made the playoffs. We lost the first round.
Oh, okay.
We played Coventry, and it was torrential downpouring. So dumb.
I'm hearing a lot of excuses.
So you
Anyways,
must-
Oh, no,
you
I
must-
lost.
You didn't have a long run in that game, I guess.
No,
Just
I
a
got
long
hurt.
bus
I
ride
got
home.
hurt in that game.
oh, here we go.
That's why we lost.
All right, well, let's get to the good stuff.
You know,
where you
excuses
broke.
are like assholes, right?
What?
Everybody's got that rain. Oh, what a time.
How long was your run statistically? I mean, it could have been a lot longer the way that you scrambled.
Statistically, 98 yards to the house.
98
But it was a
yards.
103-yard run.
Wait, that wasn't the rainy game.
No, this
No,
is the
different
Turkey
game.
Day game.
Beautiful.
This is the most important game.
Beautiful sunshine out, right down their sideline. 98 yards to the house.
Yeah, he was the quarterback, by the way, so he scrambled.
Oh, scramble.
Oh.
Did you do a flip going in the end zone? Did you
I
slide?
was-
Did you?
His hamstring is still pulled.
Exhausted.
He's still dealing
I'm
with
looking for oxygen.
We didn't have any of that. My coach came over and he's like, "Just so you know, we're not done." And I'm like, "Okay, I think I might be."
That's like nowadays. I'm sure even myself, retired life, you going around, playing with my kids or doing something and being like, "How the fuck?" Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay. You let it fly.
That's
How
fine.
the fuck did I ever,
Yeah.
do this, for a living? I remember being in the huddle, like, I watch it now, watching games. So it's like third down specialist D linemen. I hated them.
Because they came in fresh.
They came in fresh legs. They pinned their fucking ears back, and they're ready to freaking bullet right down your freaking throat. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And that's that's when I learned. Like, when I first came here, I learned how to get into a 2-point stance.
Yep.
Because timing. I mean, by the time I get out of a 3-point stance, they're in my face, and you bring in these third down specialists, and these guys, you have the run stuffers, you have the pass rushers. Guess what? There's no fucking guy on the offensive line playing pass rushing or anything. If there's 70 plays, you're playing 70 plays, and you're getting that holly like, like you just said. Yeah, game's not over. You got to keep on
Unsung
going.
heroes,
You
man.
go down.
The guys up front, unsung heroes. Not on the defense. We're talking about
all of them.
offensive line.
I mean, everybody that doesn't come out.
Yeah.
Even the quarterbacks, you see them fighting and they get tackled, and it's exhausting out there. You just said game's not over. 98 yards.
It was bad.
And you also had like young Tom too. You didn't really have Mr. GQ, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. Supermodel Wife yet.
Huh?
Do you have a
love
favorite Tom memory that you could share?
Favorite Tom memory? PG?
Whatever. I mean,
I guess
if it's
a lot of people don't know. I got 2 good ones.
all right, we'll do 2. Yeah,
Two good
give
ones,
us.
so-
We'll give us both, and then
got-
we'll decide which one we keep in.
They're both pretty good. I have a friend that actually his father was one of our cleanup guys for the athletic room, and one day Tom was a rookie. He was a nobody. He was a 4th-string quarterback.
Right.
Nobody keeps 4 quarterbacks, and unless you're a practice squad guy or something. But I mean, Bill must have saw something in him. I don't know, but he'll have to tell you that years later. But overall, I remember this guy telling me, guys, Tom signed a card, one of his cards, with the Michigan jersey on. Everything is from Michigan, but it says rookie. He signed one of them to Drew. The Bledsoe gave it to Drew, and like, oh my God. It was hysterical. But I didn't know about this till years later, and I tried to have Tom authenticate it, and I guess he said he couldn't remember. And I'm like, oh, you don't remember that at all? Come on, you messing with Drew at the time? But ended up being, the guy wanted to sell it, I think. But because his father got sick and he had to go pay for the home and stuff. But unfortunately, Tom didn't remember, and turned around and just that story alone. And Tom, it's been great. Tom Brady. I mean, Drew, it's been great or something like that. I got, have a picture of it somewhere. But overall, Tom's story is, a rookie again. There's a little bit of hazing, and one of my friends, the fine powder that they put in bank bags.
Yeah.
That explode.
Oh, we do. We both worked in
robbed the
banking.
bank?
No, we both worked in banking, so we had to learn about the bags.
Yes.
And our trading.
You're trading. I thought you were both robbers.
No.
Nope.
So the powder, and if it gets on you, it basically taints your skin, and it's basically basically almost like a tattoo, but it takes a long time to get off. So somebody decided to have some of that stuff and put it in Tom's socks without him knowing it. So we're in the Foxborough Stadium, and he comes in after practice, and he basically had Smurf feet.
I was gonna say.
His feet were like blue, purplish. He took off his socks and shoes. Until the day they knocked that stadium down, there was Tom Brady's footprints going into the shower from the blue dye on his feet. Oh my God,
that is hysterical.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. So we always had a little fun, especially offensive linemen. We got bored very easy, and
you played with Matt, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Matt is like the biggest ball buster there is.
Matt's he's a clown. I gave him some ideas. He gave me some ideas. The whole popcorn in the car. I did that, and the popcorn kernels that you get in the boxes. I gave he used that one. I used it in Green Bay. So it's funny, and we used to get Tom all the time. I mean, we all had kids. What is it? The silly string.
Oh yeah,
spray cans. So Tom always held his conference in his locker, and all of us. So me, Light, Copen, I would go. I'd buy these cans, and we all get behind the cameras and sneak behind because you always had like 10, 20 people there.
Yeah.
And we'll go 1, 2, 3, and there's probably video everywhere of him just getting doused, and it's just all over him in his face. Oh my God! Oh my God. I remember watching it one night on the news channel. It was pretty funny, but we did it a bunch of times. What else? Let's see. Another good one. I remember was you ever see Tom Brady's combine picture?
Yes.
I'm sure you guys have.
Of course we have.
Well, nobody knew about this when he started playing, so I got wind of it. There was a Xerox copy, probably 1,000 pages, and I had it hidden. I would cover his locker, tape them all in his locker, and he'd come in and after practice or after meeting and rip them all down, and everybody have a good laugh, and then let it die down a little bit. Then like a month later, do it again. And, he's such a physique. His physique in that picture, he's just
chiseled,
so manly,
out of cheese.
That's amazing.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Poor Tom.
My gosh. Thank you for sharing those stories.
That's hilarious.
I think it's like the one thing that I'm kind of getting from this conversation more than anything is that I feel like you have just lived such extreme versions of life compared to most people. Like we've played sports before, but not at the NFL level, not at the Super Bowl level, not at that kind of things. Like I've dealt with family member. I lost my aunt to ovarian cancer, which was incredibly stressful and traumatic, and it was rough, but it also wasn't like an immediate parent. So I still had parents here, and it also wasn't me, right? She also worked in New York. She was on a train into New York on 9/11, but the train stopped. Obviously, I think she was in like Norwalk at that point. So it's like, it's just like hearing the extreme level that you've lived at with all of these different things. Like, honestly, just like hearing it, I'm like, I don't know how you're still here. You still have such good spirits. And then on top of that, you go into a world of philanthropy like this, where you're also at the forefront of it, where you're working with these individuals who are dealing with not only traumas, but also the struggles of those traumas at the same time. And I'm curious, like, I know you said just being positive is the main thing, but is there any sort of mantra? Is there anything that you like say to yourself that has gotten you through all of these moments through times? Or is there at least a lesson learned that you feel like you can share to people that is like, as you've gotten older and as you've gone these things, like, this is how I survived these extreme conditions?
Well, two things I would have to say. And, one, I remember my brother who was in Tower 1 when Tower 2 fell and was running out with the building falling behind him. And, he told me, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And, that kind of sticks in my head. And, I know it's been around, but also one day at a time. And that's why I reiterate that, everybody, we all have a certain amount on this time. Nobody knows when, that person's going to call you and call you up or down or wherever you're going to go. But nobody knows when that day is going to come. And, it's one of those things we, live every day to the fullest. Take one day at a time. If you're battling out there, hey, one day at a time, everybody, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And, if you're living life and it's a struggle, just staying up, being positive, and knowing that whatever it is, I tell kids, you failed the test, guess what? It's behind you. Let's work on the next test and
right.
make it better there.
Right.
And
Feet moving forward one step at a time.
One step at a time. Keep moving forward one day at a time, and knowing that you can always better yourself. It's you go in a hole, you don't want to keep digging and making that hole bigger and making that hole bigger. You want to be able to build stairs and climb out of that hole and become a triumph. My quote for life and my life. If I ever write a book, is life's like a roller coaster ride, and you're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs. Some downs, like my down in 2008, was in those tunnels, that dark tunnel, the roller coaster. You don't know if you're gonna crash or hit your head or anything,
right,
so something like that. So, but then you come out and then you start rising again, and little by little. So life's like a roller coaster ride, because you're gonna have your ups and downs, and there's certain times when you're going up and it's harder. It's like at the beginning when that roller coaster ride, click, click, click. It's that reminds me of after cancer. One day at a time, I took a walk a little further the next day. A little this, a little that, a little that. So, just keep moving forward, little by little. Whether it's family, friends, or yourself, just try and be happy and try and live life to the fullest, and knowing that we all have a certain amount of time on this earth, and use it wisely.
I love that. That's awesome. This has been amazing hearing your story so far, but
Seriously.
Now we got to get into a little bit of the So New England segment, as I like to call it.
New England segment.
The So New England
Can you say
segment.
it one more time just like that?
Yeah.
Just like that.
So New England.
Ooh.
Oh,
It does have a ring. It has a ring to it.
Work in progress.
Yeah, my producer over here, Vin, does not like that I say the So New England segment. He thinks it's too cheesy for him.
too many sounds. Yeah. So New England segment. That's what I'm hearing from him.
There's something better out there. We just haven't thought of it yet.
Yeah. Well, that's why we keep him behind the camera.
Yeah.
I'm only teasing.
And he's the best looking one. Why doesn't he
He
get on?
is. That's what I say.
Dashing man.
Okay, so we have 6 beautiful states here in New England, and I would like to know, since you are so traveled between your career and where you're raised, although it is just New York, and typically here in New England, we don't like New Yorkers, but we've adopted you. We've adopted you at this point.
Since the Red Sox won, I think it's become a joint. A little bit of a joint, unless you're an old Sox fan or Jets fan or somebody like that. But
How could you even be a Jets? Okay, anyways.
Those people
So
need hugs.
I would like to know if you were able to add another state or country, even if it's just a city, if you could add it to New England, what would it be?
that's a tough one, but let's say Canada. It's right here, right in our backyard. Let's bring in Canada. I mean, I know it's big, but
All right.
some great people from that area. People love Toronto, Montreal, and all the Quebec, and love the places up there.
Never been before myself personally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, me either.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
I never
Let's
been
bring
there,
Canada in.
but- No, I know. I have friends and family that have family and friends up there.
Yep.
But I've met a lot of Canadians and seem to be good people. I've been to Alaska 6 times. And
Oh, wow.
A lot
Okay.
of Canadians up there. Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm a big fisherman. Love fishing.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yes.
King salmon and halibut. It's some of the best eaten.
That was one of the things that you offered, right, at your foundation at the Gala. One of your wasn't it a fishing experience?
Fishing experience.
Yeah.
Out here though.
Yeah, that one was out here,
Yeah,
but
out
still,
here.
I remember you talking about your
Alaska's
love for fishing.
It's
That
a
would-
long trip.
Yeah,
Yes. But,
I would imagine.
Who
so.
catches more fish, you or Matt?
I don't know. Matt's down in Rhode Island now. He lives next to a pond, so I'm sure he's out there. I'm sure he's out there with his pole. But I like the ocean. I don't mind the lake, but go out there ocean fishing. There's a lot of good, right? Just in that sound, Long Island Sound. There is so many different species of fish in there. I love going out there and not knowing what you're going to catch at times. Sometimes it's something that's you're going to throw right back, or something you're going to bring on board.
Okay, now, since you've lived here and we've adopted you, I'm curious, have you been to all of 6 states at this point? You've been in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, you've been to all of them? Mass, Rhode Island?
We just did for our 15th year, we did a road trip for the foundation, since we cover all New England states. And, we did over a year, we visited, all 6 states.
Wonderful.
So
I love that. So then you're going to have a
time.
very good answer for this. Could you please rank in order your favorite New England states, 1 through 6?
Oh my gosh. That's tough.
The whole world is watching.
Yeah, I know, it's tough.
And judging your answer.
Well, let's see. 1 and 2, of course, Mass, Rhode Island, whichever way you want to lean. We almost moved here 10 years ago. My kids went to school in Rhode Island, so we basically should have bought here 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But we didn't. And we decided to just drive and waste gas. That's all.
Yeah. Would have had a serious property value increase in this area.
Then I have to think. Let's see. I'm outdoorsy, so I like New Hampshire and Maine.
All right.
I went to school in Connecticut. Connecticut. Some people don't realize how a wide range of Connecticut. You could be by the ocean, or you can be by the Midwest, and it's a little different atmosphere. But it was great to be there. And then also, I would say, which one am I missing?
Vermont.
You'd have Vermont. You'd have Vermont at 6. You'd have Mass, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine.
Hold on. Right? Rhode Island, Mass. He said either or. Give Rhode Island some credit. Mass gets a lot of love.
Yeah, because it's bigger, man.
Yeah.
I still don't know.
I got to give Rhode Island love.
Yeah. See?
There's a great.
It's his list.
There's a great Italian.
But he didn't move here.
Great Italian group here in Rhode Island. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love coming out here, hanging out the hill, go to some restaurants, and there's some good delis that remind me of my hometown on every corner. Growing up, and you see the supersod and the prosciutto hanging from the ceiling, and I love that. And you just can't. Well, you sweating? Get some meat sweats.
As soon as you start talking food, everyone knows. Hey, I need an Italian right now.
I got some prosciutto fermenting in my car right now.
That's the best place for it, honestly. It's gonna be delicious.
I hope so.
So this will lead us into our next question then. It could be, doesn't have to be just like your favorite, but what are some of your favorite New England foods? Or is there any that were new to you when you moved here from New York? Did you eat chowder growing up, or was it Manhattan red chowder?
Manhattan red?
Yeah.
No, like the white Bettah. Yes. So, as I said, adopted New England.
Yeah.
Let's see. Definitely some lobster. I know, love the ocean, but didn't really, mid-class family, father, cop. It was pasta, bread, and
whatever could feed
whatever.
4 boys.
That's it, 4 boys eating out of house and home. I know I was the biggest, but my brothers aren't too shady behind me, so they're all big guys. But overall, it was, lobster. Fell in love with lobster and seafood. I love. Don't make it a lot at home. When I do, it's usually like a summer clam bake or something. But I love cooking and grew up learning from my mom and my grandmothers and everybody around me who loved to cook, and me and my brothers love to cook too. So
awesome, that's great.
It's great, and even when I go out to dinner, and usually having fish and something like that, because it's something that I always don't make myself. I'm kind of I try different things. If there's a special, I'm going to try a special because that's for some reason that, the chef is making that a special, so it must be good.
Yeah. Right.
That's a fair way to look at it. Yeah.
I think so. And then, a lot of places that I frequent all the time, you want to look at those specials because you probably had everything on the menu already.
Right.
But overall, never fails though. My wife and I will sit down and I'll order something that I never tried before. And it comes, it's this big.
Yeah,
and it's so small. I'm looking at her plate, and she's got a steak hanging off the plate. I'm like, damn. But then knowing that she's probably not going to finish that.
You get 2 dinners.
Yeah, I get 2. Well, that's the worst if you have kids. I mean, you'd be when the kids don't finish stuff. Oh man, that's free food right there. It's come on, pass it down.
Yeah.
Pass it down. You don't want it. But,
awesome. Okay, so how about, are you into New England sports outside of obviously being on the Patriots? Do you get into the Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins at all, or?
I watch them a little bit. If I watch hockey, I love it live.
Yes.
It is definitely better live.
Oh,
for
I
sure.
love
Because I'm gonna have you rank New England sports in order. So I'd like to know, who your favorite is. So I'm gonna
does
assume
it count Providence Bruins or
I mean, yes, we can. I mean, we have.
I love going down here.
Yeah.
They have a great venue, and
They do. Yeah,
it's a good atmosphere there. And going down there and having some fun, and even catching some of the basketball games. But it's a great venue. But fell in love with hockey because it's probably one of the sports that I don't play. But I also fell in love with lacrosse.
Oh, okay, cool.
Big up here in New England.
Yeah, we have our own professional sports team now, right? Don't we? In New England, I forget the name of it.
It's the Cannons.
Cannons. There we go. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So my son is a lacrosse player at Quinnipiac.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
He's pretty good then.
Yes,
QU's a good school for lacrosse.
Yeah, D1 program, MAC division, and he loves it. He's hardcore. He loves the sport, and some of the times you see him out there getting whacked. And
Yeah, what position does he play?
he plays LSM, so he's a long stick midi. So he's a runner. He's
an athlete, but he wants to beat the hell out of people.
He got it from my wife.
He got the footwork from you.
Maybe the footwork. That's right. He's got these long. His old coach used to call him a gazelle because he ran down the field. He looked like a gazelle running with long legs, and he was
the
fast.
Perfect LSM.
And he's
perfect build.
He's got the shoulders for me. He's wide up top, but he loves it. He splits time with another great player, both the same age, and on and off, and always running on and off. But it's hysterical sometimes. I learned it from his age, from first grade when he started playing. So my oldest started playing in 5th grade, but he was younger, and he wanted to play. So I got it okayed for him to play in 1st grade with the older kids. And it was pretty funny. I got some old pictures of him. He's like this big. He was a little runt. And then 4th graders towering over him.
Yeah.
But he never shied down. He loved it. He's still that same drive and determination out there for Quinnipiac, and fights every time. I was down in New York City yesterday at Manhattan College, and he took a run down the field. He stays on with when the transition comes, and waits for the transition, if you know lacrosse, and he gets the ball, takes a shot, and scores yesterday. And
that's awesome.
That's a dream come true for an LSM.
Oh yeah,
that's huge.
He shot one early in the season, but got blocked. And then yesterday he scored. I was screaming and yelling.
Oh, I would have freaked out.
My parents were there with me, and they drove up and they're like, "Oh, what happened? What happened?" They scored. Yeah. I said that was Thomas. That was Thomas. Oh my gosh, Thomas!
Because as an LSM, you don't get too many breakaways, so he must have been moving.
He was. Oh yeah, he was moving right down the middle, and nobody covered him.
Yep.
So it was great. And then,
that's great.
That's awesome.
So then we're gonna put Cannons on there.
Cannons,
then.
Cannons,
I gotta put
Bruins. I played baseball for a long time too as a kid, and I kind of got sick of it a little bit. And I grew up a Yankees fan, of course, New York, but
boo.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
sorry.
There's a little cough.
I couldn't help but. My grandmother would scream and yell at the TV.
You're a New Yorker.
She
I get
was
it.
Hard of hearing, and she had that TV blasted. And you can't talk to her when the Yankees were playing; she'll cuss you out. And then, I love that. Don't bother her. And grew up that way. But since coming up here, being here in New England, and watching the Sox, going to the games, and getting to know a lot of those players in the early 2000s, and. What they accomplished after all the years.
Yeah, great couple of guys to know, I would imagine.
Even though, I was watching the World Series, but great group of guys that come back from, 3 down and win that year. That was a triumph. That's
amazing.
Yeah, that's like, that's New England.
That's it right there.
That's a triumph. That's how many?
28-3. Just putting it out there.
28. Oh,
we love a good comeback story.
Well. We had a couple early in the days. I was there for that one. I was watching, but that was an amazing thing. And I remember telling people, I said, "Listen, hey, if Matt Ryan can do it, we have Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I know Tom, and he's not gonna just lay up and lay an egg right now. He's competitive. He wants to be out there, and he's gonna do everything he can to get this team in the end zone every chance he can.
That's right, and that's why we have such sports delusion here in New England, and we're all just crazed fans.
You are. I mean, we say third grade in 01 when we won. And,
yeah, third grade. I've literally only known winning for the Patriots.
Spoiled.
You're screwed. You're
Watching
spoiled.
you win Super Bowls, and then you know.
I tell my kids, you guys don't know how it is, and like I said, you're learning it now because of the transition and the turnover, but it happens, and
crazy.
It's different, but you guys like your age group and
the most insane Boston sports run in history.
The 20 years.
Yeah.
Three with the Pats.
Years.
3 with the Pats.
Well,
two with the Red Sox, or one with the Red Sox, and then
the Red Sox. Bruins won. Celtics ended up winning.
Celtics won one. Yep. So, all of our teams won a championship, in our youth.
Yeah. Still winning. The Celtics won last year.
You're right.
It's crazy.
Yep.
We're very fortunate.
Unbelievable.
Very, very fortunate.
Joe, this has been fantastic. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing your story and telling everyone about what you've done with your life after football, and also sharing all of your football stuff and getting into the deep dives of New England with us. I mean, this has just been fantastic. Is there anything else you want to tell our listeners about things we've got coming up, and then how they can get involved with your foundation?
Well, you can get involved with the foundation. Calendar, everything's online, joeandruzzifoundation.org. And there's a big red donate button right there. Right now, we have coming up in Rhode Island is a giving day for Rhode Island. It's 401 Gives, and a
great cause.
I love what they do with that. They just make it one. Now it's 2 days, so it's April 1st, April 2nd. But everybody here in Rhode Island, and knowing that there's 100+ funds, foundations, all benefiting, and they're all great funds and helping, paying it forward, and all that good stuff. But
I've been involved in the
Joe
last 2
Andruzzi
years.
Foundation has been. We do a lot of great things in New England, and especially Rhode Island. But they do a lot of great things, and also we have if you like golf, we have a golf outing coming up this summer, and then we also have another one coming up in the fall, sometime in October, and then once the schedule comes out, we'll pick our day for our gala. You want to get dressed up and have a party at the stadium?
Another awesome event inside that brand new atrium there, right? I mean,
that was gorgeous.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
that was unbelievable. I had such a good time.
Yeah,
it was wonderful. So
we'll see what's up this year, and we got to change it up a little bit. You gotta keep the people wanting to come back, right? Like yourself, like you had such a good time, right? You're gonna come back again.
Yes, 100%.
And you're gonna bring a +1 this time. That's not your flipping wife. All right, pal.
So Vin, you're up.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Vin, you're up.
Yep.
He definitely earns it.
Awesome, Joe. Thank you again. I really, really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much. Had a great time.
Awesome. All right, folks, that's going to conclude episode 35 of the So New England podcast. Remember, folks, life's better in New England.